Today, we're going to dive into a pretty incredible story. It's this amazing mix of cutting-edge tech and ancient history, a real-life quest to find secrets that have been hidden for centuries in one of the most mysterious places on the entire planet.
So think about this for a second. How would you even begin to find tiny traces of an ancient civilization in the Amazon rainforest? I mean, we're talking about a place that is just impossibly huge, super dense, and from an archaeology standpoint, basically a giant blank spot on the map. It's a problem that has stumped experts for, well, forever.
But what if you had a totally new kind of partner? One that could, peer right through that thick jungle canopy and scan millions of acres in the time it would take a person to maybe walk a few miles. Well, that's exactly what this is about. This is the story of how a small team took on this impossible-sounding mission, not with maps and machetes, but with AI.
So, what kicked this whole adventure off? Well, it all started with a competition. But this wasn't just any competition. No, this was more like a global call to arms for the most creative minds out there. The mission was called the Amazon Discovery Challenge, and the task was crystal clear. Find evidence of ancient earthworks, structures built by people, that are totally hidden in the Amazon. The whole point wasn't just to find one or two spots. The real goal was to come up with a method you could scale up to scan the entire rainforest. We're talking about something that could completely change how archaeology works. Of course, every great quest needs its heroes, right? And in our story, the heroes aren't what you'd expect. They're not lifelong archaeologists, but a small team of software engineers who just love a good challenge.
So let me introduce you to Yao, Iskalina, and another Yao. These are brilliant software engineers, some with experience at places like Manta and Amazon, others fresh out of top universities. What they did was bring their deep expertise in machine learning into a field where, honestly, they were total newcomers. And you gotta love their motivation. As Yao tells it, it was just pure excitement. He was on a gap year, just totally immersing himself in machine learning, and he stumbled on this challenge. He called up his friends right away, and just like that, with that little spark of curiosity, Team Blackbean was born.
And their team name? The story behind it is actually really touching. Blackbean was the name of a family dog that they loved very much, who had passed away. So by picking that name, they made sure his memory got to be a part of this incredible adventure with them. Okay, so they've got the team, they've got the passion, but how in the world did they actually tackle a problem this massive? Their solution was, well, it was kind of beautiful in its simplicity, using two different kinds of AI that worked together perfectly.
I love how they thought about this. Their approach was basically like creating a digital explorer, which had the eyes and the brain. The eyes was a deep learning model. They trained it to pore over LiDAR and satellite images, hunting for those tiny telltale signs of human construction. And the brain? That was GPT-4. It wasn't just a search engine. It acted like an expert on the team, helping them organize the project, make sense of the results. It was basically a virtual archaeologist.
And their process was so smart and systematic. First, they chopped up the gigantic Amazon into these manageable 3x3 kilometer squares. Then, they let their eyes model get to work, scanning every single tile and deciding if it looked like it might contain some ancient earthworks. And finally, they ran a cleanup process to filter out all the noise, which made the most promising spots just pop.
What's really wild is how they used GPT-4. It wasn't just some chatbot they'd ask questions to. As Inia put it, it became a real collaborator. It remembered their entire project history. It helped them talk through the pros and cons of different ideas. It was a genuine member of the team. Inia even joked that he probably talked to it more than his human teammates.
All right, so they had the team, the tools, and this really cool process. All that hard work, all those late nights, it was all about to be put to the test. The big question was, did any of it actually work?
Oh yeah, it absolutely worked. Their system didn't just find one or two little spots. It flagged over 100 promising locations that real archaeologists needed to take a closer look at. I mean, what a massive breakthrough.
And you know what's really cool? They didn't just keep these discoveries locked away. They built this whole interactive website where literally anyone, from an expert in the field to someone like you or me, could just click on a location, zoom in, and see all the data for themselves.
For the team, that huge wow moment wasn't just seeing a big number on a screen. It was when they started going through the results by hand and realized, whoa, these aren't just random patterns. These places have real potential. That was the moment they knew their idea wasn't just a theory anymore. It could actually help people make incredible discoveries.
Winning the competition was amazing, for sure. But that was really just the beginning. The real impact of what Team Blackbean did is the brand new frontier it opens up for science.
So why is this such a game changer? Well, first, scalability. Their method is efficient enough to scan the entire Amazon. Second, it saves so much time and money by pointing experts exactly where to go. Third, using GPT-4 to explain the findings makes this complex science understandable for everybody. And finally, this is basically a blueprint that could be used for all kinds of discovery missions in other fields too.
And this story isn't over. As the winners, Team Blackbean is dedicated to making their work open to everyone. They're planning to team up with the whole archaeology community, get feedback, and keep making their system even better, hoping it can help with research way beyond just the Amazon. It's just an amazing story of curiosity, teamwork, and a really good dog. It proves that a few passionate people with a powerful new tool can literally change how we see our world, and even our own history. And it leaves you with a big question, right? If AI can help us find our lost past, what other secrets is it ready to help us unlock?